Luis from LuisReviewer.com. This is another episode of my World of Entertainment podcast. So, in this episode, I wanted to focus a little bit on my second favorite rock band of all time, Led Zeppelin. Now, Led Zeppelin, of course, I knew Stairway to Heaven, but I never quite got into the rest of their music until a couple of years back when I just decided, look, these guys are really well known, so I decided to buy, I don't remember what other album I bought. Maybe it was the Greatest Hits, and from there I progressed to the albums. But I gotta say, I love their musicianship. I mean, this is the first band where, to me, the lyrics are second because they sound so great. I mean, John Paul Jones is an amazing bass player, and I love John Bonham, and I love Plant's rock voice, and Jimmy Page is a great guitarist. And I like that their music is varied, even though they're rock and they're heavy, but they're a little bit bluesy. They can sing soft. They have all kinds of music included in their albums, especially after Houses of the Holy. Um, so so once I got into them, it was easy for me. This is my second favorite band, um, and I think it's also what I like is that this is a band where I feel just like the Beatles. They would not be the same without a piece. Like on Let It Be, when George Harrison walked out of the sessions, John Lennon jokingly said, "Let's get Eric Clapton." Eric Clapton is amazing, but he would not sound. It would not sound the same with Eric Clapton and the Beatles because George added a lot. The same thing can be said. John Bonham, an amazing drummer. John Paul Jones is a great musician with keyboards, bass. I think he handled arrangements. And Jimmy Page is a great guitarist. I mean, he did a lot of cool solos and a lot of great guitar works for the band. And Robert Plant is a great vocalist. I don't think they would have sounded the same with someone else singing the song. So they're the only other band that I feel where the four or all the members are just as equally important. Yes, Plant and Page maybe were the faces of the band, maybe like Lennon and McCartney, but still the other pieces are equally as important. So this is like my third video, I think, where I'm ranking albums on my second. My third, because one was all my favorite albums overall, and I did a video on the Beatles, so check it out. So this one I'm gonna rank Led Zeppelin albums from my least favorite to my most favorite. They only had 9 albums. I'm not counting live albums or I'm just counting the main discography. So number 9 for me has to be, or not has to be, but it's Coda. This album I think, is mainly releasing some songs that were not included on albums, and it was after John Bonham's death, so it's hard to look at it as an album of new Zeppelin material because there were not new songs, and it has a nice tribute to John Bonham with the song Bonzo's Montreux. So number 9 for me would be Coda. The deluxe edition is great. I mean, this one only has 8. The deluxe edition has a lot of cool songs in it. It expanded to include outtakes and other songs, which was great. My number 8 album, I don't have it physically, but it's Presence. I loved how he started with Achilles' Last Stand. That is an epic. A little song with the dun dun dun. I mean, it's just great. But the rest of the album, to me, kind of lost something or momentum. There were not memorable songs. There were not bad songs, but they didn't quite stick in my mind like other songs on other albums. And for that reason, for me, is the second least favorite of mine. Like I said, none of the albums are bad. I'm just saying that this is from least to my favorite. So at number 7, um, I'm putting Led Zeppelin 1. Great debut album. I love the album. Um, it has great tracks like Communication Breakdown, Days to Confused, um, Good Times, Bad Times, which is a cool little track, and a lot of other bluesy little numbers, which were really great. But that to me is my number 8th album. And number 6, I'm going with Led Zeppelin 2. Um, I think I like this one a little bit better than the first one because of the lyrics. They felt a little more interesting to me. What is and what should never be is a cool track. Uh, Thank you. Great lyrics in that one. Heartbreaker. This is a good album. And it felt a little bit of a progression from Led Zeppelin 1. Number 5, I don't have it physically, I have it on digital, is The Houses of the Holy. It's a cool album, great record. Um, I think the title track, the song remains the same. Over the Hill, No Quarter. I think it's a good record, and maybe they, and it's one of the great records they made. So at number 4, I'm going with In Through the Outdoor. Something fell. Sorry about that. I have it on vinyl. This is their last real record with John Bonham. So this album it's different, and it's different because it was written mostly by John Paul Jones or Robert Plant, and they were into not so heavy things. So the album has a lot of doesn't feel as heavy as the other Led Zeppelin songs. I mean, full in the Rain is kind of a cool reggae track, or with a different rhythm. Um, All of My Love is an amazing song. I love it. So this is my number number 4 album. Actually, I think I said number 5. So my number 4 favorite, Led Zeppelin 3. This is the first album where I think I liked 9 of the 10 tracks. I love it since Immigrant Song, Friends. That's the Way. It's one of my favorite songs. And Tangerine. That actually Tangerine. It was kind of a song that also got me into them when I heard it on the film Almost Famous. I love the guitar on it, and I just had to find the song, and I heard it was from them, and so it's one of those tracks that I started to listen to them. Besides Stairway. So anyway, this is my 3rd favorite album. My 2nd favorite album, Led Zeppelin 4. I think this is kind of like what Sgt. Pepper is. It's their masterpiece. And I mean the 8 tracks are amazing. Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Stairway, Misty Mountain Hop, Four Sticks. This is just, I mean, the band were determined to really show their critics that they were a good band, and they achieved it. It's a great record, and it's an everlasting album. I think some people call it so. Some people don't call it Led Zeppelin. Some people call it Led Zeppelin 4. Whatever the title, great record. But my favorite, and I think is the album that fell down. Let me get it. So it didn't fall down, but well, I had it. I can't find it now. But number 1 for me, Physical Graffiti. That to me, that double album, to me, is my favorite album. I like it. It's like the White Album. It's varied. It has everything. Kashmir, an amazing track. I love Night Flight, In the Light, In My Time of Dying, uh, 10 Years Gone. Great record. I think is to me is their best album, and it's the album that I most listened to besides number 4. So anyway, that's my list. Uh, Great band. If you haven't heard them, I highly recommend that you do it. I tried actually doing. I said during this time where I have a lot of free time, I said I'm gonna listen to bands that are really famous, and I never gotten into them to see if I start to like them. So I started with the Eagles, and I started liking 4 songs on the Greatest Hits album. But as they kept going, I said, "My God, they just feel like the same track over and over again." So I stopped. I'm gonna keep trying. I tried Pink Floyd. I couldn't get into them. But I listen. You gotta try and listen to. But anyway, this podcast was about Led Zeppelin. It wasn't about other bands. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'm trying to add different kind of podcasts. I have one about the Waco miniseries that I saw it. I'm gonna be posting it soon also, and I'm gonna try to keep adding content. If you have suggestions, put it in the comments.